And we're live. We're live. Welcome, internet friends. I'm super lucky today to have builders from the seeded network, a new Solana incubator. That's not only an incubator, it has lending and borrowing and many other DeFi aspects that we all know. Welcome, Azur. Welcome, Hugo. Very nice to have you here.
Hey,
Yeah, thank you. Hi,
thank you
guys.
for having us.
Thank you.
So guys, let's start from the basics. Tell me a little bit about you, about your journey into crypto, about how did you end up building on Solana, and some more information about the team. And then we're gonna go to a TLDR on what seeded network is for those that did not read the documentation that we posted and did not come prepared.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm a computer science background. I worked on different project teams in the past, and just wanted to create something new and something that I founded with Hugo.
Yeah, for myself, I have a graphic designer and a front-end dev background in France. And yeah, I met Azure and we decided to start building together on the cryptosphere.
And how did you end up in Solana? It's pretty deep into the cryptosphere.
Yeah. So we've been sort of in DeFi and crypto for a long time now. I think I was involved since 2015, and Hugo has been there along the way as well. Yeah, we're very connected with the sort of ecosystem around crypto and DeFi especially. We liked Solana, we wanted to build on it, and we just did it.
Awesome. And are you doxed, guys? Are you keeping your anonymity? How does it work?
Sure, yeah, we're anonymous. Sorry, we're public. Me and
We're public.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure I saw your faces on the white paper.
Yes, we're doxed.
yep.
Oh, awesome. Tell us a little bit about seeded network for the unprepared ones.
Sure, yeah. So we're kind of a synchronized ecosystem of products, I would like to say. Well, initially we're a borrowing and lending protocol with a project incubator. We have some other products as well, and we have really good utility with each of them working really well together. Yeah, I can see your stream there. That's me up there in the top left. Um,
Nice.
yeah. So basically, we just want to build an ecosystem on Solana with some really cool use cases, really cool utilities, something unique, and something that's not just a one-trick pony.
And what is that? So I read in your white paper in the description that you are a project incubator with unique borrowing, lending, and staking solutions.
Yeah.
Let's take them one by one. So a project incubator. This means in my mind that a team of developers is going to contact you and present some work they have, and then you're gonna coach them in the way. You're gonna help them with media training. You're gonna help them with connections. You're gonna help them with establishing, with registering the company and all these things. Or I'm taking this wrongly.
No, that's exactly that's exactly what it is. Yeah, yeah. We don't like some people like to tend to call project like that Launchpad, but you explained it like very well. We don't raise funds only for people. We try to provide them a network as well, some dev, some graphic designers. We can coach them on how to raise funds with VCs. Eventually, paperworks, everything strategy, because launching funds is pretty much not the hardest part, but building a project itself is more difficult that it appears. Getting money is not the hardest part, and I think Launchpad lack in that way. They don't help enough, so we're trying to fix that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome because from personal experience, indeed, being in the crypto sphere, raising money is not the hardest thing, but finding good partners, lawyers, media training, and a way to connect with the rest of the ecosystem is super important. So how do you, like, I understand the notion of the incubator. Do you have some a certain duration of each project being incubated in your organization?
That's a good question. I guess we don't really have a time frame per se. Like sometimes we'll have a lot of projects incubate, and then sometimes not as many. I assume closer to bear markets or times of uncertainty in the market. I don't think many projects will be looking to launch, but during times of bull markets, then definitely more projects will be looking to launch and would have more than enough incubator projects to launch with us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But is there a certain duration that the project needs to stay with you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's not planned. It's like basically if you hire or if you are trying to find some mentorship in you have many possibilities to do mentorship, but you don't have a duration. I think one day when you have a mentor or somebody incubating you, one day you feel like you can you can fly alone. You know enough. So I think the project will progressively detach from us once they feel that they can be fully independent. So no, we don't have any duration on. I mean, we didn't think about any duration, but I think project will just leave us once they will be free to work alone. Yeah. But
Awesome. And I assume at the end, at the graduation ceremony of the project, there should be a pitch day where you contact investors from your sphere of connections and bring them for the projects to pitch. Is that something that you also offer?
Yeah, of course. So one of the many different facilities or services that we offer projects is the ability to participate in ability to get investors from investments from different investors that we're partnered with. Actually, we had a lot more interest than the ones you're looking at. We had we had like a lot more than we anticipated. So we still have the contacts and we still have all the connections with them. So touch of a button and we can get you raising loads of money.
I see. That's a bold statement. Is there any list of those possible partners that you could offer to a project? Is there anything released to the public yet?
Oh, that's an amazing question. Yeah, actually, we have a product that we are. Wait, sorry, are you talking about investors or products?
Investors that you could possibly connect. We're gonna go to the product and the projects approaching you for incubation. It's a question down the road.
Of course, yeah. So, apart from the ones on our page, on our website, we do have a couple. Actually, we have really nice advisors that really connected us with a lot of the VCs, and they have really huge connections in the Solana sphere.
Yeah.
Actually, you might recognize one of them as the CMO of Selenium and Frankium as well, the CMO of Frankium. So two really amazing advisors that connect us with a lot of VCs and private investors. And well, there was a huge list to go, but we picked our favorite ones and the ones that we're comfortable with, and we went with them.
Yeah, both awesome projects. I had the Francium people here for an AMA, and I asked them if they are called Francium or Frankium. That was part of the questions.
Oh,
honestly.
What are they called?
I say Francium.
They said Francium.
Yeah, I said Francium. Like,
I just called them wrong then. My bad.
No. I also I did the same. I had to ask them. I couldn't figure it out. So okay, the incubation is pretty clear in my mind. Assuming the viewers or the audience, they also understand. Now, how do we bake into this equation staking and lending and borrowing? Like how do these things all come together?
Yeah. It seems like all just completely different projects that like alone they could be, you know, projects of their own and do their own thing. We sort of want to build that ecosystem as I explained earlier. So what we have is sort of integration or utility between the lending and the incubator. So there's a few different solutions for for participating in the incubator projects. The first thing is actually borrowing your like blue chip tokens to lend. Sorry, lending your blue chip tokens to borrow seeded tokens, and we kind of opted out for a tiered system because we actually one of the things we're going to talk about later, the Launchpad Dilemma. But yeah, basically we just got rid of the tiered system. Basically, anyone holding a single token can participate, and you can borrow the tokens. And once you have borrowed the seeded tokens, you just hold them in your wallets, and yeah, you're in the incubator IDO. Then you also have locked lending, which is one of the features we want to implement as well. It's basically locking your seeded tokens for a duration of time, and you just get a better allocation into our incubator.
So when I go and lend my Solana, for example, in order to borrow some seeded tokens, do I get an allocation on the incubated project according
Exactly.
to the size of my pocket, like according
exactly.
to the amount of seeded I'm holding? Perfect.
So yeah, so basically just lend out your soul, and then you'll be able to use that as collateral to borrow seeded, and then with seeded you can just participate in the incubator project.
And is there a personal cap? Maybe it could be different for every IDO, but can I just go and buy out the whole allocation if I'm a huge whale?
Yeah, so we will have a cap on sort of the using seeded, collateralized seeded tokens, just because you know, someone with a lot of money in USDT or SOL can just lend and borrow seeded tokens and just use that to participate. But in terms of just holding your funds, I guess it's sort of everybody has their own allocation depending on their weight in the pool.
Awesome. And what's there to be gained for me lending my seeded tokens?
Oh, it's a really interesting question. I know if some of you are familiar with the lending protocol, but there is something that can cause some trouble. If you buy native token in a farm or in any lending protocol, the problem is you are exposed to the price of the token. But if you lend some stable coins but borrow our native token with it, you are not exposed to the same volatility, which is if the token decrease in price, but you have lended some USDC. For example, let's say, I will try to explain how a lending protocol works for people that are not familiar with it. But when you lend, let's say 100 USDC, you have the right to borrow the equivalent of 75% of the deposit, which is $75, for example. So you can borrow 75% of seeded token, and then if the price decrease, it means you have borrowed less, so you can borrow even more for free if the price decreases.
Yes, your collateral increases, which means you can also borrow even
Exactly.
more.
So if you see in most of the Launchpad, if you buy the token and it decreases, you're losing some tires with the tire system. You are losing value, but here you don't lose it, so you can borrow even more. So that's a risk-off approach. So
That's
yeah,
it's really efficient for capital efficient. So yeah, props to that.
Yeah, I hope it was.
And you said that there is going to be a way for someone who's holding a lot of seeded coins to actually lend them to the users, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so there's gonna be a demand for well, obviously, everybody that's bought the seeded token will want to lend it out, earn some yield on it. So there's also going to be people that are just interested in, holding the token without being exposed to that volatility. So there's always going to be constant sort of demand for the token. Well, demand for the lended tokens. So that will be really helpful in getting really juicy APYs for the lenders.
And last but not least is staking. How do we what do we do with that? I have seeded tokens. I don't want to lend them to anybody because I and there is no incubated project that I am interested in. So I can stake my tokens from what I understand. What do I gain?
Yeah, sure. So to start off, we're gonna have stake seeded, earn seeded tokens, and then over time, while we have more incubated projects, we'll be taking a cut of their tokens out for sale and use that as rewards for our token. So if we launch XYZ, it's gonna be stake seeded, earned XYZ.
And will I be able to have my seeded staked and participate in the launchpad
Yes, of
without
course.
having to unstake?
Exactly. Yeah. So you'd be able to just stake and be able to have an allocation. You'd be able to lend, still have an allocation. You'd be able to have it in your wallet and have an allocation. You'd be able to borrow seed tokens, have an allocation, as long as you have seeded tokens in somewhere, shape, or form. You will have an allocation.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And are you also going to help projects with their liquidity requirements, or with maybe some farms or something to help them thrive in the decentralized markets and have volume?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we to start off, we'll be having pools, and we'll also be creating a market for the token.
Are you
So
are you
you'll be
going
able.
to are you going to provide your own solution in the pool? So you're going to use something that already exists, like the permissionless pools in Radium, or
Mhm.
the Atrix, or the query farms? Uh, how are you gonna get into the end of that?
Yeah, sure. So what we were thinking was sort of like a vault system where we'll be using the permissionless liquidity on Radium, and then building on top of it where the user would stake with us, the LPs, then we would stake it to Radium, and then we will take the yield from Radium and provide more yield from our token, or their token for rewards. So it'd be sort of like boosted Radium rewards, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, and it sounds pretty good, and it sounds a more complete solution compared to what Solanium is offering out there with the Slim token. Since you are helping with the liquidity and the creation of the pools and the farms, I think that's a huge step. Is
Yeah,
that the
of course.
reason you got the CMO from them?
Yeah, actually, yeah, he was really interested in the project when we were very early on, and he wanted to be on board, so he joined us.
Awesome, awesome. That's it's a really bullish sign. Could you maybe give us, man, before we go to the projects that are going to be incubated with your launch? Let's talk a little bit about the Launchpad Dilemma, and that you describe on your white paper. For those that didn't read it, let's go through it a little bit, and identify the problem with the prices, and what happens if you go far in time.
Yep.
Let's give a flavor to the audience on that, and also let's talk about how seeded network solves it.
Of course, yeah. So I think I touched on it. I touched a bit on it before, but basically, I read an article a long time ago when I started the project. Well, before I started the project, and it was by the Newfield Fund, just talking about the Launchpad Dilemma. I found it really interesting, and I mean, I saw like a very obvious answer to it. Oh, okay, so just before I go into that, so what the Launchpad Dilemma is, so every Launchpad that comes, like, you know, has their IDO and launches, they have a huge increase in their token, like their token exponentially rises. And they usually have a tiered system. So what ends up happening is the minimum tiered system goes from, you know, $100, which is, you know, affordable for many investors, to like $1,000 or $2,000, which at that point prices out like almost every investor, or like the majority of investors. So what those investors do is just jump on to the next launchpad. And like as you know, there's like a million launchpads launching every day, so there's not there's no demand for it. There's always enough in the market. So what ends up happening is the new investors go to the next launchpad, buy the token early on. The token increases a lot, and then the new investors just keep going. It ends up like, you know, like an endless cycle of investors going through a funnel, running out of you know, getting priced out of the tiers, and then going to the um, next launchpad, and it keeps going on. And eventually, the older launchpads just have no projects, or there's a problem with it, or in some way or another, they just end up, you know, falling a lot, and people just forget about them.
So the tiers price out the investors, but also
Exactly.
kind of drive away the projects, because if the investors are only whales, and the distribution is not efficient enough, then it makes sense that the projects will choose another launchpad incubator. Do you have any examples, maybe for me mostly to check up later, because I'm really interested in these happenings? Maybe some launchpad on Ethereum that had that problem, or anything that you could point me to in order to get educated on that.
There's like a million examples I can give you. Astronaut.to, BSC pads, Polka Starter, loads of different launch pads on pretty much every single launch pad that has been that's like, you know, you've heard about in the last 6 months. Right now is probably dumped to zero, and nobody's following it, nobody's paying attention to it, and that's about it with the project.
Do you think Solanium is suffering of the same issues, or Radium, or Solcubator, any of the existing
Actually,
competitors in air quotes? I understand that you guys are building something much more complete than a launch.
of course, I guess in a way they're kind of like indirect competitors, in the way, like, you know, obviously we'll be competing in the same pool of projects, or the same, you know, for the same investors, for example, that are interested in you know, launching and interested in investing. So in a way, we're kind of indirect investors, competitors. I guess Radium, is very like, it's not just a launchpad. It has a DEX, really popular DEX, if not the best DEX on Solana. It has NFTs, it has farms, pools. It's more of a complete solution than, you know, the likes of Sol Incubator and Solanium, where the only product or the only services they offer is just launching the project. And if you notice, actually, yeah, if you notice, actually, if you keep like an eye on the sort of projects that are launching with Solanium and Sol Incubator, you notice that the raise has been, you know, decreasing ever so slightly every single time. You know, like at the start they would have been able to raise, you know, 300K. Now the raises has been, you know, slightly decreasing, just because the not much demand. And also, if you look at the returns of the investors, like I'm seeing 158%, 100%, and then now it's like 2x, 5x. Not really huge jumps like it used to be in the past.
Yeah, but also the risk appetite has decreased as the market
exactly.
has gone through a shaky period that resembles
Of course,
the
yes.
bear period.
That's true as well,
the
yeah.
2017 times. I mean, we all got super burned at the ICOs of 2018.
Yes.
Even if you were in a syndicate on a launchpad or whatever, everything went to zero.
Yes,
Like
yes.
I can show you my Ethereum wallet littered with garbage.
Yeah. I have a few wallets that are just terrible projects that I don't know why I even
it
bought them
acts
in the first place.
as a cruel reminder of what you did. And I have such
A reminder
such
that's
weird.
there on the blockchain forever.
Yes, indeed.
Um,
So let's
yeah,
go to the super juicy part, which is which projects have you received interest from? Any projects that you'll be incubating after your launch? Give us some alpha. I think that's one of the most important information you can leak.
Yeah, actually, we're very like we really like like surprises for the investors or the community. So I don't think we have infinite alpha with us, but I can tell you that we have a few projects that's we're in talks with and they're interesting, to us at least. A few NFT projects as well, but mainly just token based projects. Yeah, I don't want to say too much. Just we're in talks with a few of them.
I totally understand.
Some of them are really interesting. Yeah.
And of course, that's always. Feel free to tell me that you can't answer, you can't leak that information. There is an NDA agreement or whatever.
It's unreleased alpha for the moment.
Awesome, but there are more than one. Give us that.
Yeah, more. Yeah, a few.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And what's the timeline looking like? You like give us a little bit of when the IDO is happening. When did your maybe seed rounds happen, and when will the product launch? And when do you see the first incubated project appearing on your website?
Sure. Yeah. So, we had our seed and private round back in middle of November. So it was about 2 months ago. We were able to use that fund to hire more developers.
Got super burn. I think from again super.
We're in beta test at the moment. Well, closed beta test for our lending protocol. Just making sure everything works. Our audit is looking really good. We're auditing with Certic, and yeah, it looks like, I mean, the report looks fantastic. So just a few things to fix, patch up, and bundle, and we'll be ready to release it. In terms of like IDO dates, I don't want to leak it just because there's something really big before we announce the IDO. So I don't want to.
You said too much.
Oh shit.
Okay. Maybe like is it gonna be within February?
It's in the coming weeks, yeah.
In the coming weeks, yes.
And when do you see the platform launching?
Yeah, so after the IDO, we'll have the app up and running with our token and some really exciting stuff with it as well.
And what functionalities do you expect from all those that we talked about earlier, from staking to lending to borrowing to like all these things? Should we expect the platform to launch with everything working from day one?
That's the plan. Knock on wood, we don't hit any problems, but yeah, I mean, we have sort of we have everything planned. Everything is in not preparation at this point. It's basically at the point where it's like ready to go. Just click the button and we're ready to go. So of course it's going to be in beta. Like everything that we release is going to be in beta for a while. just so we're sure that everything is working as intended, and we're able to provide a guarantee when we open our mainnet and we have our our big launch.
Especially with the recent problem of congestion, and we just want to make sure that we open the gates with in the most with the least less trouble least problem less problem possible.
Yeah, of course. As you said, it's impossible to predict. It's not in your control, especially those Solana outages. I wish you all the best on that, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question from the audience that I think is pretty suited for this part here, which is what has been more difficult, building and coding the platform, or onboarding and connecting with partners and projects to incubate?
Oh, definitely coding.
Yeah. Coding.
Finding.
You'll be surprised because this is a recurring question. Not every project answers the same. Sometimes onboarding seems a tall task for a very technical developing team.
Oh yeah, probably yeah. Onboarding has been easy, honestly. The
onboarding has been really smooth.
It's really a small word, so everybody is really open-minded, and we don't have any trouble to contact and just ask question here and there. It's no problem contacting people, but yeah, developing is way more difficult, especially with a non-NVM blockchain.
Yeah, indeed, that you have to build everything from scratch, and documentation is lacking most of the times.
Exactly, yeah.
So another question coming from the audience is your philosophy on open source and your ethos, and if you on that side of things, are you going to release anything for others to use, or it's going to be all behind a closed door?
For the time being, we sort of want to keep our competitive edge and our leverage in the market. Just because we're releasing a lot of different products that alone can be a project on its own. Like I've seen a lot of lending protocols that's all they do is just lend. Nothing's wrong with that, of course, but we have more products, and we sort of want to be the one-stop shop, sort of like Radium and sort of like Radium actually. Like Radium is a really good example of being a one-stop shop for investors, where there's a DEX, there's a NFTs, there's farms, everything really. So for now, I think later on would be more happy to open it up. I guess it wouldn't really be like we wouldn't have. I mean, okay, so our audit is really good, so we're really sure that we won't really benefit totally like a lot from open source. Of course, there is a lot of benefits from open source, but I think even like not having open source is more security on its own, especially on Solana, where the code for the project isn't very accessible to the hackers, so they wouldn't really be able to like find something wrong with it if they don't know what they're looking for.
Yeah, I totally understand, and I 100%, and coming from Grape, which again we're pushing the open source narrative, we still have a lot of things behind closed doors for the reason you just described. We don't want to lose our competitive advantage. We don't want to invite malicious actors, and we want to perfect and audit before we actually give something to the community.
Yeah, precisely.
In your case, you're coming even more prepared, and you've been audited, at least when you launch, by Certic, which is a huge name for the Solana ecosystem. So yeah, congrats on that.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about the coin and the tokenomics and the IDO and all these things. And of course, feel free to deny answering and shut me up, telling me I don't want to answer that. But give us a TLDR on the tokenomics, some things that stand out for you, or that that's different from the classic tokenomics, and if anything that's in there that's appealing, please share it with us.
Yeah, sure. So actually our tokenomics were designed by real economists. Is that the word? Economists? Yeah. So yeah, we're really confident in the tokenomics that we have. I don't know what to say a lot about it. I mean, we have sort of the boring seed, private, public. We have some tokens for the team, some tokens for development. Yeah, I guess it's really boring in
The
that
public
aspect.
round is 1%. Do I see clearly?
Yes, it's very small, very very small.
I see. And what does the vesting look like from the token generation event for
Yeah, sure. So
for the non-public, obviously?
yeah, so public actually we've modified it a little bit since the markets and it didn't seem like I don't know just the market the market conditions at the moment. So we'll be kind of releasing the public round tokens earlier than expected. Our investors are really nice. They promised us no dumps, so hopefully that's true.
And the maximum vesting for the investors is?
Yeah, we're gonna change that. So it says 50% monthly, but it's gonna be the week or the 2 weeks after.
2 weeks.
TG.
And seed round and private round are locked for 6 months, 15% monthly.
Yep,
If
that's
what
correct.
I'm reading is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And the team has a 6-month cliff and then 10% monthly.
Yeah, actually, we're gonna be changing a lot of the vesting for the team. I guess we don't really need tokens. We're very happy to because I mean
Basically, we're gonna give it away, basicly, to the
I see. You're gonna
staking.
give it away, or you're gonna sell it to investors?
whoa, you're giving too much info here. Yeah. So yeah, we don't want to say too
I
much.
got it. Now you spilled the beans, man. You can't take it back.
I think Hugo was talking too much there.
Yeah, sorry.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I got it. I'm pretty sure people around in the audience also got it. So yeah, looking forward to that. And the changes in so we're gonna see the white paper get a version 2 that's going to be updated.
Yep. So
With the tokenomics, since you're talking about changes in the tokenomics.
Exactly. Yep. We'll have it closer to. Yeah, we're actually working on it right now, so it will be ready in the next few days. Definitely.
Awesome.
We
So
have some more
you've
things
had
to
the
add as
seed
well.
round.
So.
You've already had the seed round and you had the private round, and that's it. Is it possible to know the valuation of those rounds, the fully diluted valuation of seeded network?
Sure. Yeah. Fully diluted valuation at launch would be 50 million times 0.3. That is 15 million. Dollars fully diluted valuation.
Fully diluted valuation. Okay. I like the valuation.
Which is
which means the
tiny.
seed round got it at 5 mil, fully diluted. Okay, that's reasonable, I have to say, and with a quick judge.
Yeah,
No
it's actually
financial
quite smaller
advice
than.
out there. So yeah, just a reminder to the audience that this is just a friendly conversation. We're just looking around for alpha, and every investor has a different risk profile. So just do your own research. There's
I love that.
nothing to be taken as financial advice, but it still looks good. So let's talk about how can we participate on this one. How is the whitelisting process? What do I need to do in order to get a piece of the IDO?
Sure, yeah. So Actually, we had a very successful Discord event. We gave away 100 spots, and then we have a few game events that we've been releasing. Throughout this week and going into
Sunday.
Sunday. Yep. Really fun events actually. So we had higher or lower on Tuesday, which basically hit a number in the background, and you just guess. The bot will tell you if the number is higher or lower, and whoever gets the number spot on just wins a whitelist spot.
That's pretty cool. That's a good way to not allow cheating.
Yeah, it was a
Pretty
really
fun.
fun game. People really enjoyed it. Like we had a lot of engagement and a lot of spam during that time. People trying to guess the number.
Yeah, we
Just
do
pretty fun.
one game per day, and we give away some whitelist spots, tens a day. And yeah, so far we did 2 games, and yeah, if you listening here want to participate to the whitelist game event, you still have 3 days, so you can join the Discord right now to participate to the bingo. Tomorrow is a bingo, so if you're familiar with this type of game, take a card and fill it with numbers and participate to the bingo tomorrow.
Yep. It's one of my
That's pretty
favorite
awesome.
games. So
How do you do the bingo? Do you use some Discord bot?
No, we use
we use Hugo bot.
yeah, we are the bot, so it's gonna be
or do you
bot.
have a huge lottery style with where you turn a ball with little balls inside and then you take it out and you announce it?
Something like that. So basically, we just have a template for the bingo cards, and then everyone will get to fill in their cards and submit it to us. And then tomorrow, when we close submissions and do the bingo, you'll have the chance to say bingo if you win, which is
Awesome. So people can get whitelisted by participating in events and games in your Discord. Any other ways of getting that spot?
Yeah, actually, one of our other events was just engagement events. Just following our Twitter and liking it. Not a huge fan of them, but they seem to drive engagement up and get people excited. Even if you don't have time to play the games or you got unlucky with the games, there's an extra chance there that you can win something.
And the whole IDO is going to be whitelists, or there's going to be some free for all spots.
You're really pushing us here to spoil some alpha.
Okay, I can answer however you like it. Like you can pretend it's another question you of your life.
Yes, that's our answer.
Okay, perfect. Is there a way we can give also a whitelist spot to someone in the audience? Would that be possible?
Right now?
I can provide you with. I'll do a raffle after the AMA. I've been taking screenshots of our audience, and I can give you an address that you can whitelist, and of course a Discord ID.
Sure, yeah, we can do that. Actually, someone in the chat said he doesn't know how to play bingo, which is probably the worst excuse for not playing a game today. Actually.
Especially bingo. Come on, my
bingo. Like, come on.
My grandmother was like
a
bingo champion.
If my grandma can play, you can too.
Awesome. And for those obviously that cannot be whitelisted or did not get a chance, they'll be able to buy from the open market. I assume part of your incubating process is also to connect those projects with centralized exchanges.
Of course.
I'll assume we will see you listed in sexes.
Yeah, we have a really exciting one to announce. Really exciting one.
Wow! Looking forward. So you've got so many things to announce in the coming days. It's going to be non-stop announcements. We'll be following closely.
Non-stop announcements, and it'll be really good announcement, really hyped ones.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think you've covered all my questions and the audience's questions. If you have anything to tell us more, the stage is yours. I'll go through the various chats, the video in the Discord chats, and see if there are any pending questions. On the meantime, the stage is yours. Let the people know whatever you want.
Actually, it seems like a lot of people are not really a big fan of bingo, but it's really easy. I mean, you have a card, you put in numbers onto the card, and we do a draw. We pick numbers, and if your number gets picked, you cross it off. The winner of the bingo is the one that has a line of numbers. Really easy. If you don't know how to play, I mean, I wrote a big article on it, so you'd be able to read it and you know get some idea of how to play and the rules and everything. So
Yeah, if you don't like bingo, you still have 2 days after that to play some other
exactly.
games.
The other games are, I mean, really nice games as well. Very fun. That's kind of what we're trying to push for. Not really not really. It feels like the games are well, a lot of the whitelist events for the projects have been sort of mediocre, sort of very luck based. But a lot of the games that we have are actually very strategy based and skill based.
Yeah, bingo is lottery based, but
Yeah, bingo is lottery based.
it's
We
the
gotta
only one.
admit.
It's the wrong example, but it's the only one. There is
It's
no
the only one.
numbers. You can come after. There's no numbers.
Exactly. I mean, you can be strategic, I guess, in picking the right numbers, but
No,
at the end of the day, it's just random.
Is there an article that you actually have a strategy for bingo? I'm so curious now.
No. We don't have game theory for bingo.
Entire list of the best number to pick. No, there's no. We put the rules. We always take care to put the rules so people can play, and also because we play bingo maybe in Europe, but I don't know I know if everybody in the world play bingo like we do. So always put some game rules.
I have a good question for coming from YouTube, and are you going to be present in any of the Solana events, upcoming Solana events? There's a hacker house in Dubai. There is the Mountain DAO in Utah. There are a couple of events happening. Are you going to be present? Can we meet you anywhere?
Yeah, of course. I think the events that the upcoming events are very not EU friendly. We have to set up our visas and just a lot of headache just going from Europe to other countries of the world. Usually the process with like Lisbon, for example, very easy. I mean, just like flights next door and you know no visa, no restrictions. Everything was really smooth.
Yeah. The breakpoint was a blast. Like I had so much fun. I looking forward to the next one. Although I don't think it will ever match the hype and the tribalism of the first one.
Yeah. I really hope that the next event will be just as good, but I don't know. It's a lot. We're putting a lot of pressure on Solana
the bar is
here.
too high. They set the bar too high. Now it's yeah, just too difficult. All right, guys. I think that you've answered everything thoroughly, and I'm super thankful for that. I'm pretty sure the same sentiment is echoed by the audience. Again, thank you, and best of luck. Best of luck with the upcoming IDO. We'll be following closely. For the viewers, I'm going to raffle the audience in Discord. So I'm sorry, Twitch. I'm sorry, YouTube, and I'm sorry, Media.network. We're gonna do only Discord if you want to be to have a chance of winning some Grape airdrops or any other airdrops that our kind guests are offering. You'll need to be in the Grape community, in the Grape Discord. And on that note, I'll wish you good night or good morning or wherever you are. Again, super thankful. Thank you, Azur. Thank you, Hugo, for being with us. And best of luck with the upcoming amazing announcements and events.
Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
And for those that didn't catch the whole AMA, we're gonna release a video on YouTube in the coming days with chapters, descriptions, tags, and everything is gonna be there. So fear not, we have you covered. Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I'll close the stage. You can reach me through the various platforms, and of course, I'll share Discord links and website links and all the information for Seeded Network. Once again, thanks a lot, and good night and good day.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.